One check if there's audio, and someone make noise in Discord, I guess.
Hello.
Check, check, check.
Are you live?
Yes.
How come I don't see it on the YouTube channel?
Refresh.
You should. I just got a notification about it.
There it is.
Type something in the chat too, so.
It is indeed working.
Nice.
Thank you.
I guess we can wait. Yeah, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. We can just chill and wait. Punctual AF. Gentlemen.
So is there like, do you have like topics right now?
Nope.
No, like if people just come in and
Just kind of like a...
chit chat.
Well, I want to ask you a question. Or do I ask you? Do I just unmute myself, or do I just...
Unmute yourself, dude.
I like he's talking in the.
Hey, man. That's what I know.
Alright, can we get a...
I am typing up directions as we
Can we
speak.
get a server mute on Coos?
This is why you can't have power in this board, bro.
Why? I'm speaking the truth? That's crazy.
I'm just looking out for my old school subscribers. I see them.
Old school subscribers.
Bearded Vegeta.
Yeah,
I remember you guys in the chat.
Yeah, you mean all the people you abandoned?
That's crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
What do you think your old viewers do during it now? These fools were like watching you 3 times a week. They had it on their calendar, they had the alarm set every time your stream went on.
Who's the stream
got
legendary, dude? I love
Now
it.
they got nothing to do.
Yeah, now they got the Discord, bro. He never abandoned them, he just changed things.
How do I make? I feel like a video would increase the experience.
A video? Of what?
Of our faces.
Oh.
You don't want to. You don't want to see my face?
No, I don't want to see this.
That was disgusting.
Trying to go live in this?
I'd like to see your face, Danny.
You want to see my face? All right. All right. Now I just want to turn it off.
You ugly bastard.
You ugly bastard. That's fucked up. That was good. I resisted from choice words. So
Perfect timing.
yeah, that was good.
Yo,
Russell
pretty sus.
Ojama. Look at him.
Look at him. Oh, what an ugly ass hat.
Oh, Danny's not wearing a hat.
Did you pull up? You pull out a stupid hat? Don't tell me you pull out the hat for this.
That was a nice E-beam deflect right there.
That was crazy.
Like that one?
Yeah, that was powerful.
That was like Mirror Creator Absorb having deflect for the first time. We're like, yo, deflect. That's broken.
Is there a
First time
way?
your friend tries to like pressure ball it, and you're like,
Russell, I thought you were a Celtics fan.
I am.
Why are you wearing a Blazers t-shirt?
Because I went to a Blazers playoff game. I actually got this from the game against Denver when they went to 4 overtime. I mean, I live in Seattle, like Portland's literally next door.
Nice.
Hey baby, I'm cutting camera. Do you need to walk by? Okay.
Looking like a true Canadian.
All right.
Have
I'm
you really
gonna.
never heard of Portland?
Why would I know that?
I need to
Yeah, I mean, Zoo,
Huh?
Zoo knows
Yeah, I
Portland.
turned it off.
Is it Liddy or what?
That's funny, dude.
I mean,
The same group as Jordy B with.
That's
I
like,
would say
like maybe
Portland.
I'm saying, what's Boston?
I always say Portland's like a...
Yo, bro, everybody knows what Boston is. Portland, what is that? Who?
Portland's just like a bootleg Seattle.
Bro, they get the who.
I have to turn on my camera because my girlfriend's in the background, but I'll turn it back on shortly. But I mean, any questions? I mean, topics? I don't know. We could talk. Maybe we just like. What'd you say?
Any concerns?
Any concerns?
Sounds like a work meeting.
Alright guys, well, let's go back to this.
Intro first, yeah?
If it was a work meeting, Chris would be playing TFT right now.
Yeah, that's great.
A video Kuz's face increases any experience. That's true. Predictions of Otakon Victor. Joey, you going?
Wait, are we not doing cameras? We're gonna turn the cameras on.
I just told you.
This guy said.
My girlfriend's in the background. Just give me a couple minutes.
Joey, how come your camera's on? It's your channel.
Yeah, my life is had a camera on me, dude. I'm trying to take a break.
That's crazy.
I will
Cool,
say
let me
that
see that.
you're a Canadian player
I love you.
yesterday.
You
guys
smell
were
good.
very
You
nice.
showered?
I just showered, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah, eh?
The fuck? Put Joey in the video?
That has to be a sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's really.
That's just them at a tournament. That's not them every day.
Yes, I know.
Really? Really? Super
More
nice.
quiet if you have us lowered.
I'm working on it.
No.
Don't yell at me in front of company.
Predictions for Otakon. Yeah, Danny's working on the audio right now, guys. But
I think it's a cut, baby. But
I think the format is like
Okay, we'll bring it in later.
fine in a triangular sense. Like I feel like it's just Trunks Vegeta representing yellow, Gamma mostly representing blue, and then U7 or GT repping red. I mean, Bulma won an event, right? But we haven't seen if people are actually gonna pick up the deck or not.
Probably
So
not.
I feel like it's that triangle of U7/GT, and then the other part of the triangle is Trunks. The other part is Gamma. At least going off of Deli. And then you have your rogue decks, of course, like Cooler, Cell.
Are you going to Otakon, Joey?
Who?
Nah, I'm not going to Otakon. Me and Big J are going to the New Jersey event next weekend, and then taking a week off in between that because Gen Con is,
Yeah.
is the following week.
I just refilled it.
Is that Jersey event like an official Bandai thing, or?
No, it's a PPG 1K.
Oh, okay.
Probably gonna be like 30, 40 players, nothing crazy.
When is Otakon?
The week before Gen Con.
Oh,
Mike is going, I know that, but I don't know if any of the other guys are going.
Where's Otakon again? Is that DC or something?
I think that's the one in DC, yeah.
Oh, how far is that drive for you?
For me, it's only like
The camera's already on.
3-4 hours. It's not that far. It's just like, do I want to travel 3 weeks in a row? Not really.
In shorts.
Wait, Jordy, do you have a headset? This guy's never
Crazy,
worn a
right?
headset ever.
Yeah, I do. I wear it when I play on
Yeah, it looks like a cue ball.
It's a kingpin right there, dude. That's a Canadian kingpin.
Bro, I told this guy, BB, blue, yellow, green. If I won the tournament, that he would have to fuck off about it because everybody hates on Bean and everything.
You can't say that, man.
Oh, you can't?
Come on, man. This is 7 minutes.
Oops.
7 minutes in, we gotta shut it down.
No. Okay, I didn't even say it.
I didn't say it, you said it.
Just make an acronym. You'll get out of it.
Yeah, it was something else that I said. It was a puck. You guys just... I have a Canadian accent.
It's my Canadian accent. You said U7? Yeah. Joey?
U7.
Yeah, I mean, it's either gonna be U7 or GT repping red.
GT sucks.
Oh, I thought you said winning. Okay.
Nah, I think
You think GT's good?
it's a good deck. Yeah.
I think it's really lacking.
In what department?
In general, I don't think it does
It's
enough.
an interesting conversation, by the way.
It is.
You wanna get technical about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use my brain for a second.
That's gonna be hard for you, but I'll help you out. Ready? All right.
No. Okay, first
So-
off, it's absolutely terrible going second. All right, it might be the worst deck to go second in the game right now.
That sounds like Cat.
The worst deck to go
That sounds like
second.
such
That
an
has to be Cat.
extreme declaration.
Dude, going second is like... death anyways. Like, legit.
That's pretty rough.
It's rough.
But
I would say
think
this. Yeah, I would say this format is like one of the worst when it comes to going second.
I think that's fair-ish. but I think just like comparing GT to U7 is like they both have good 1-drops, like good aggressive 1-drops. They both have good boss monsters. GT is like technically worse, but it costs less energy, and they could play it for free on turn 5, so that's pretty good. Difference of status is like an actually obscenely broken card in that deck, so that's like a that's like a huge strength for it.
Difference of status.
I'll get it back on camera when you.
I would say my biggest knock against GT is the fact that it's like the only top red deck that's just not playing the baby Unison right now. Granted, Unison is like the deck, right? It needs the Unison that it plays, but baby's just so broken. Like you'll get U7 and Bulma, they both just get to abuse that Unison, and that's why I would put them ahead of GT.
It's fair. No, I'm not even saying that I think GT is better than U7 in any way. I just think that GT is good and Danny's a capper.
Okay. I think U7 is just definitively better. I'm not gonna say that GT sucks. I
agree.
But I think U7 is definitively better overall, better than GT.
Yeah, I think U7 is better than GT, but I still think GT is a good deck.
Okay.
GT feels very good, right? Like the deck is consistent.
Yeah.
Like
you know what?
it draws a lot.
It's always got like 15 cards. It's always got like 15 cards on turn 4. Yeah.
It's just kind of in a weird spot where it's like it's not super aggressive, but it's also not like very controlling, right? It kind of sits in the middle there where like GT can go a lot faster out the gate, and then you have Bulma on the opposite end of the spectrum, obviously, which is just like hardcore control, and you have just GT somewhere floating in the middle there. So I think it's a lot easier to stabilize against GT than it is against a U7.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I should have played U7 on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet, huh?
Yeah, I never got to see much of it before.
Sorry, Zahir.
Yeah, it's all good, man. You did good.
Sorry, man.
Yes, I already ate.
Seems like
What do you eat?
really good.
I still hate playing the deck though, because like
tofu.
bad mills just are gonna piss me off. Like sometimes you don't
Huh?
have 5 U7s by turn 2,
Yes,
and it's
this
crazy.
was a lot.
Like,
I didn't eat that much.
I don't know. Like, I said it to you guys on the team, and you guys were like, nah, you're crazy. But then I played like 3 games, you guys all saw it, and it's like, damn, Joey just has terrible luck. But like, it's serious. Like sometimes turn 2, you just can't do anything. Like, and again, that's like the edge case, but it's definitely frustrating. And
you're not wrong with bad mills though. Like yesterday in the regional, it fucking happened to me. Like out of those 5 games, 4 of those games, this literally exactly happened to me. I did my activate, I don't remember what turn. Frieza super combo, after a midget Frieza super combo. Literally happened to me 3 times yesterday in the region.
At least
yeah,
in U7s.
You hit 2 U7s, but not the ones you wanted to hit.
Yeah, literally.
It's kind of high rolly, but when you do high roll, oh man.
Yeah,
I agree. The high rolls, yeah, the high rolls are crazy. Like turn 2, going first. I mean, you can hit for 5 damage, like dual attack, a double striker, and then your leader. And yeah, like this, like so Alex brought up the new aggro U7. I'm not sure if he's talking like specifically about the one that I posted on the channel the other day, but like you do that plus like the green Frieza Xeno ball stuff, and yeah, you're hitting for like crazy damage. But that build like relies more on the high roll than the typical U7 build for sure, but the aggro potential is actually crazy.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Those are the type of decks I actually like to play. Like Imperial Drama, just high roll and just blast them.
Do you guys like the Ultra Mastery card in U7 now, going forward?
If I was playing pure U7, I'd still want to play it 100%, but in this
I never see it.
I
They never put it down anymore. I never see it on tap. I didn't see it this weekend.
I mean, I don't think there's a downside to not including it, right? Like, it's just mathematically incorrect.
Oh no, not you too, Russ. Crazy.
My bad, Joey. I had to throw it out there.
That's crazy.
I forgot to post on the main group, by the way. I'm doing it right now.
I did it. I took care of it. Don't worry.
No, thanks.
But I'm just sharing my screen here with that red-green deck I was talking about. So like this deck, I don't think I would play Ultra Mastery because like this deck just plays on a lower curve, like it's just aggro. So I don't really want to spend 4 for anything in this type of deck. But in Mono Red U7, I would definitely not play any less than 2 copies.
What's the card called?
Which one? Oh, Ultra Mastery.
Yeah.
Oh, I have it right here at the side though.
Yeah, I don't think it's great. The main reason I think U7's better than GT is like it's really good at being aggressive, and there's not many aggro decks in the whole format. and just like blitzing people sometimes is like free wins. You know what I mean?
I mean,
A card that feels better and better is definitely Divine Presence. Divine Presence feels really good right now.
Especially in BO1 pre-side, right? Like, if you win the die roll as do 7, like, your win rate just skyrockets.
Yeah.
Like, U7 going first is pretty impressive.
I think I would play at least one of this.
Yeah, like in Standard U7, I totally want to play 2. I think you play 2, but in this type of build, I would not. I'm gonna check out. We actually got some questions in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. The chats are a little split, but it's fine.
That's okay. All right, so we have a question. How good is blue-yellow Trunks Vegeta? Funny you ask. Our teammate Jordan got second place with it at the Toronto Regional yesterday, or the other day. I think it's really good. I think like you have to make compromises. I'll let Jordan talk about it more in a second, but I think you got to make compromises in your deck, obviously, because if you're gonna play blue-yellow, you got to cut a fair amount of yellow tech. But it definitely just makes it more aggressive. Jordan, how did you feel about playing it on the weekend?
Jordan, no bullshit.
It was good, but there was one game where I bricked. I felt like it's less consistent than the regular yellow, but it feels better. I don't care what everyone says. Like I don't know. It's like okay, what the difference?
What did you say to me after the tournament?
I said in my last game, I looked at my.
No, not that. After that, where you said, "Yeah, I think mono yellow is just better."
Yeah, I do think it might be better, but like, yo, it's just I like playing it this way. It's better for everyone else, but not for me. If that makes sense. Okay, so why I play Trunks in a way where it's like I don't play battle cards on the field that don't have barrier or aren't like a Unison. So I don't even play that many. I only like play the battle cards to just draw 2. I don't care what happens. So if they stick, it's better, but if not, then I don't really care. And I use the bean to stay on curve. And so like if you get to like late game, like turn 4 or 5, you can do like crazy things with bean, like play your Unison, Cooler, play Annihilation all in the same turn and kill them, and that's easy to do. So I like that. And a lot of people don't, but I do. I don't like Turles and stuff like that. I don't think Turles it doesn't stick. You play it kills stuff, it doesn't stick. I don't care about killing things. I'll leave all of their guys on the field. And just rest them, or like I'll just ignore them. I don't care. I'll just riposte. They can't even attack anyways. Floodgate them, you know. So like when I don't know. The way I looked at it was like every turn when I swing, they're gonna floodgate me. So I just have to get to turn 5 and kill them in one turn. Like counterplay their floodgate and then kill them. But if the problem that I was having with mono yellow is you'd counterplay their floodgate and then you couldn't pressure them to kill them, and I hate that.
That's why I mentioned in the beginning that like just playing bean inherently makes your deck more aggressive, and that's the way Jordy likes to play. Like we've all seen that for a long time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like the thing about yellow Trunks, I find is like it's not like I was playing Golden Frieza, you guys know, for like the longest time. I wouldn't give it up, and then I tried a couple other yellow blue lists. But the thing about Trunks is why I thought it was best for blue yellow right now. But me and Joey got the little other spice, you know, we're working on. Joseph. But I think that you don't have to put down a blue yellow turn 1 or 2 or even 3 in Trunks, and that's important because you can just with yellow you're only playing 1 energy per turn for your body, and they're gonna floodgate. They're just gonna floodgate. You just pretty much assume they are. You're not. What's the point of like you don't even ever use your energy half the time. So I didn't was like, okay, whatever. I'll charge this blue yellow on turn 3, play my 1-drop, draw my card, swing. They're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna gate, and I'm like, all right, play my Trunks, draw 2, pass. I'm gonna have my yellow for a post, and next turn I'm gonna have my bean. Then on turn 4 I'll play my Unison for 3 and kill them. Turn 4, and I did that actually in the tournament. I OTK'd a red player. The other Canadian Briara. I can't pronounce.
Call me Beer.
Yeah,
Call me Beer.
yeah.
It's much easier.
Beer. Yeah. Okay. So he like OTK'd him from like 7 life.
6-0.
Like
6-0.
6-0 with Annihilation on board. I like did my turn 2 plays, turn 3 plays with the draw 2, simple, just like, you know, simple advantage, try to stay alive. He like did aggressive plays. I just didn't care. I just started block renegating just to put bodies on board just to swing next turn. and because I knew I was gonna try to kill him, and so I just like started negating everything, and then it came my turn, tapped out, annihilation, got slammed, couldn't do anything after that. There's nothing in there's literally no. Red doesn't have anything to do after Annihilation hits the board, and he milled a bunch of super combos. You can see that's another thing about U7 that is negative about it. They see your graveyard, they know what's in your hand probably, and killed him one go because of Bean. And you can't do that in the regular yellow. In the regular yellow, you wouldn't have been able to kill him.
I agree with you, man. You just destroyed me there. It was great though. Obviously I did tap out aggressively, wasting because I had V-Rays in hand, but I really wanted to like go ham because I was an idiot. And
yeah, I know. I mean, people make mistakes and stuff.
Exactly. But like, I will say this too, though. Like, yesterday I ended up facing 3 yellow trunks. Obviously you, Zahir, and another gentleman, and yours was the only one that was like not to be that guy, but it was the only one that was actually threatening to me. I faced mono yellow trunks so much, I just know the ins and outs of it. And it's like the blue yellow was so different.
And that's another thing, right? They can't predict your plays. It's not as linear.
Yeah. I'm personally, I'm converted, but I understand. I think mono yellow is also pretty good too. So I don't know either way. I think it's a player preference, right? Everyone's got their own style.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, I just found out that there's a way to open a chat for this voice channel, and I think that's just better.
Okay, how do I do that?
Just you see the name of the channel? It's CW Public.
Oh, open chat. Okay.
Yeah. Send chat there. That'd be perfect. So I don't have to jump back and forth. But let's get rid of the questions, or not get rid of. Answer the questions.
So we got one question asking how we are. Anyone want to take that one?
Let's make Koos answer it.
I'm doing pretty good. Just got off work earlier, it was a pretty long day, and now just chilling with everybody here. Pretty fun.
You played some Fab? How's that?
I did play, Flesh and Blood with Russell, just played a game. Long story short, lately I've been itching for a different card game just because, I'm waiting for Gen Con. So yeah, got my itch out by playing some Flesh and Blood, but focusing on Gen Con now. And then after Gen Con, the only other event I know of is Nets. So we're going to have a little bit of a break after Gen Con again.
I think there's events for East Coasters guaranteed coming up. There's a Tennessee regional by Top Cut. They just haven't announced it, but you can see it though.
Yeah, for me in like California, it's like there's nothing going on, so it's kind of hard.
Corey's going to step up and give y'all one, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
Well, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Real quick, before we go to the YouTube questions, I guess we could maybe quickly introduce ourselves? Or I guess everyone can see our name in the court, except Mr. Nectarine. I'm going to change your nickname for the stream, alright?
Oh, that's crazy.
We'll change it back.
Alright.
Just so everyone knows who you are.
Okay, Overlord.
A question on YouTube from Ryan Mal. It says, does Danny eat glue?
I've been trying to figure that one out for a while.
You'd be surprised how much he does on stream. It's crazy. He'd be in the Discord all day, just eating away.
How'd this happen?
How did what?
I hate you. Alright, we have a bunch of questions. Let's see, where are we at? General blue is aggro, but you have no room for tech cards. I'm not sure what you mean, Caleb Matthews.
He's talking about the general, the Commander Red deck. I think he's talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, that deck's just too gimmicky. You have to jump through hoops just to get like half of a Soul Striker, which the leader like untaps one when one of your own guys dies or something like that. So it's just wait. It is an aggro deck, like technically, because yeah, you play like 1-drop dudes that are 15k and stuff, but it's not going to be anything better than Rogue. And honestly, Rogue is probably generous.
All right, and the Canadian regional, green cooler one. Next regional in person online. I don't know about online, but Otakon is the next one in DC.
It's Oda, Gen Con, Gen Con Online same weekend. And then there's supposed to be a Missouri and a Tennessee that we know of. There's supposed to be some webcams in September. They just haven't announced these things, but like, you know, it's been said by the people who do the thing. So there's plans for some more events.
Can't complain about that. The downtimes, like, without events, are the ones that suck the most. So if there's gonna be a lot of stuff to fill in those gaps, that's pretty dope.
Joey,
Yeah.
where's the Elmer's Glue sponsorship coming in?
It's in the works. It's in the works. Can't talk too much on it yet. You know, NDAs and all that stuff.
What's the best situation to play Ultra Mastery? When you don't die? None.
When they're tapped out.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly the answer, Jordan. Like I did a whole video on this the other day. Like, basically, if you go first, you have a huge advantage to play the cards like that, right? Because you're on turn 4, your opponent's on turn 3. So if they tapped out, like for example, if you're playing against yellow, and they tapped out for the Gohan Unison on 3, but you went first, cool. Now I can play Ultra Mastery. I have no fear of any counterplay or anything like that. Going second obviously makes it harder, and if your opponent anticipates a bomb coming down, then you know they might play differently, right? They might leave one open for Mutaito or something. So yeah, I mean it's all about knowing the answers your opponent has to your cards and the situations that they can use them. So if your opponent's tapped out in the yellow matchup, go ahead, play Ultra Master. You'll probably win the game. Maybe not that turn, but it'll cripple your opponent pretty heavily.
Very nice. Next question. I'm lost. Do I eat glue? No.
But alright.
It's like the third time you've answered that question.
I never actually answered it. I just was baffled. I realized who actually answered. It was Ryan Maloney, but it's a local. When's the next online one? Not sure. I believe it.
Answer that.
Wait, how you got 8 drop and cool? That's 11 cost. You only need 1 drop per cell, and that's a huge push.
You gotta read some of the questions in your brain before you read them out loud, because some of them you gotta skip over, dude. Like that one has like no context.
Okay, that's true.
I'll take the YouTube questions. How about that?
Sure.
Alright, so Herman Style says, how do you guys go about picking teams for Team Wars? That's a really good question.
Oh.
Really good question.
Wait, I can please.
There is a couple elements.
This is a sensitive topic.
It is a sensitive topic.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let's keep the clouding. Let's keep the clouding to a minimum.
There's two, answers to this, right? And this question could mean 2 different things too. Either A, how do we pick our teammates, or B, how do we pick our decks? You know, because both of them matter, right? But yeah, the answer to that, for me personally, when we're talking about the decks side of it, just gotta pick the best 3 colors in the meta and just play. You know, have each player play the one that they're comfortable on. You know, so. You know, for me, that could be blue, right? And for others, like Jordy B, it's yellow. For Danny, it's red. So just play the colors you're comfortable playing and kind of build a team around that. That's kind of how I approach it. And I think that's the best way to do it. But yeah, then there are people who just like to play with their friends. You know, that's also.
I mean,
We just we like.
I think you were cutting out a bit.
yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, but yeah, we actually had a lot of discussion about what teams to make. It was kind of also like some people, you know, we can't just make people play with each other, even if like the best players maybe. But Joey and I we're good friends, and we like to play with each other. Even if you won't admit it.
Shut it
Shut it
Why do you
down.
have to say it like that?
But we
say that you're playing together.
we played. Joey and I are probably playing together on the same team. We've played a lot with each other. And a lot of team events.
Oh yeah, you do.
A lot of team events, and then Mike played with us in Philly, and we worked really well together. So it just happens that our color preference of decks works together too. And then I Is it okay if we tell them what our teams are? Some of them.
Let's just say ours. Ours is fine. I don't want to talk about anyone else's who doesn't want theirs to be.
Yeah, we got that. We got to defend our title, you know.
I mean, that one team's pretty broken too. You know, like just say.
It'll be a surprise.
I mean, if
Secret weapon.
is it a secret though? It's like some of the best players in the game playing together.
It's just a weapon.
You can leave it. You can leave it there. 3 best players in the game on the same team. You can leave it there, okay?
Oh,
that's enough of a hint, I think.
It's pretty broken. It's better than Joey and I's team, I think.
All right, that's good.
Oh, dang! That's confidence.
All I know is I'm sitting in the same seat as Koos, and it's over for him. It's over for you, Obi-Wan.
All right, let's get to more questions. God, there's so many.
We're done. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, Joey.
I'm not your failure, Koos.
You're my brother. I loved you.
Alright, we'll move on to the next question. David Fujimura says, what's the best deck in format currently? All answers are valid, except people from Washington. That's a shout out Russell because he's from Washington.
Go ahead, take it away, Russ.
It's crazy. I honestly really like Gamma right now. I think Gamma's very, very strong. I think it's very close to being the best deck in the format, if not the best deck in the format. I mean, you'll hear everybody's answer on the team will vary from person to person. I just like how Gamma can be very aggressive out the gate. Like, going first, Gamma can just, like, bum rush your opponent down. Especially if you're running the 17-18 Unison. Like, on curve, you can just throw out so many attacks. So it's just really hard for any deck in the format to defend right now. Obviously, like, Trunks Vegeta, I think, is really highly up there. U7's up there. I've been playing a lot of SS3 for the last couple of formats. And so that's always in my back pocket. It's probably my favorite deck to play right now, but I'm not going to say it's the best deck in the format just because, like, nobody else really plays it. But just going off of, like, results and everything, I would put Gamma up there. I think the deck is very strong right now.
For me personally, I kind of agree. Like, I do really like Gamma. I think it does everything U7 does good, but almost like slightly better, right? In terms of putting in pressure, just lots of value. A 20k dual attacker for 1 energy, that Android 17-18 card, I think is so overtuned. But yeah, then you have the Cell as like a big bomb. Very, very strong deck, but it does have its weaknesses too. So, like, you know, you can't activate, you know, counterplays like God Sealing on the opponent's turn, right? It does have some issues and some, you know, balances to the deck. So I think it's somewhat fairly balanced. But I think it's a really good deck for sure. I think it's one of the top decks.
I don't know.
I find it really hard to, like, I've gotten this question a bit, like, what's the best deck right now? And I think it's very hard to say there's one best deck, especially when the format feels so triangular. Like, I think Trunks Vegeta has a really good Gamma matchup, at least if the Trunks player knows how to side appropriately and whatnot. But yeah, Gamma is absurdly powerful because your energy is basically your hand. That pseudo SS3 effect is crazy. But yeah, I think a prepared Trunks player can beat Gamma. But honestly, I think Gamma and Trunks, again, if like the players know what they're doing, I think both of those beat Red. So maybe it's not even that triangular, but I think Red just like the Red decks just like smoke all the rogue decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like all the top decks are definitely like just far and above the rogue decks.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like the gap between rogue and meta this format feels kind of wide.
The thing about the top decks right now is like all the top decks can go fast early if they want to, but they can all like extend into the mid and later parts of the game.
Yeah, they're very complete decks. That's for sure.
All right, I'm gonna move on then to the next question.
Man, you didn't even mention Bulma. This is disrespectful.
You know, Dan, I was thinking the same thing. That's crazy. Okay.
The deck is absurd, but I mean, we gotta see if other people like do things with it.
Bulma's one of those decks that nobody is just gonna play a large amount. You know, in formats where heavy.
Deck, not most played deck. Most played and best are two different things, right?
But can a deck really be the best if it's just not gonna get played?
Yeah, because Dave's gonna play it again and win again. You know what I'm saying, Danny?
That's crazy.
Yeah, does a tree falling down make noise if no one's around?
I mean, I feel like if we're gonna talk about Bulma, that's gonna become its own discussion, which I'm totally fine with having that discussion.
No, I mean, no, I just
but
think
like,
it's easy to say Gamma best deck or Trunks Vegeta or U7, right? Like very easy because the play lines are simple. But like, I think Trunks Vegeta is better than the other two for sure. If you ask me, but I'm pretty sure.
We're not supposed to say. Bulma.
I think the best deck is a deck that no one plays. Like it's either like Bulma or some of the other decks that no one's playing because there's the way it plays. It's just something people don't want to do. But that doesn't make it not the best deck. Like
yeah. I mean, I agree. I think there's some unknowns definitely in the meta right now. Like, I've been jamming a deck at locals a lot, like the past month that like Mike had told me about. I won't say it out loud because I know Joey's thinking about taking it to New Jersey. But I've been like fine tuning a certain yellow deck a lot, and I think it's the best yellow deck in the meta right now. And it's not Trunks Vegeta.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just like that best deck statement is hard when people say we are far past the days of like year 1, year 2 Dragon Ball, where there wasn't that many cards, not that many answers, so things were clearly the best. Now you can mold decks, especially in the BO1 pre-side format. Like you can sure up what would have been a bad game 1 and probably just cost you a round. That you don't have that no more. So a lot of decks actually just get better in that regards because they don't have to worry about that situation anymore happening to them.
I totally agree with everything you're saying, Mike. But I think when we're answering this question, we have to kind of go data driven. Because otherwise we're just speculating, right? Like,
yeah, if there was a best deck in format, then everybody plays that deck, right? Because it's the best deck in format.
Exactly. There's no true best deck. That's why.
But yeah,
I wouldn't even give you much of an argument to say Bulma's the best deck. Like Bulma is an obscenely toxic to play against, but I mean, just like saying that without the data to back it up is just a speculation. Yeah. But I would not disagree with you, but.
All right, I'm gonna move on. Next question by GGG Gaming. Is the Slug package that good against Trunks Vegeta, and why?
The Slug package? No, it's miserably bad. They have a 1-drop card that says, "Hey, kill it."
Well, they can't play the 1-drop card if Slug is in play, though. So it's weird.
They got the new Unison. And
so like Trunks can kill it like decently easily, but it can be annoying in the early turns.
You literally just swing at it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you're just doing.
Isn't the smart play just set up the Vegeta on turn 2, not the Trunks, and pass?
I mean, I don't think you're gonna do that blind into all yellow matchups, but you could do that.
I think I would. I don't think like you guys said they don't really do much there.
To be realistic, you could play Vegeta swing, and then if it doesn't die, they can't play their Slug.
I mean, I think in the grander scheme of things, like the Slug engine is not good because red just like annihilates it. Like it's just way too bad against red.
Yeah.
Either the Vegeta SCR taking it out or just like concentrated destruction, and then we come back to the Bulma conversation where Bulma can literally pick up Kaioken from its drop area every single turn. So
I really don't like. I think it's not a good card.
It's just too big of a package. I don't know. It's very
it takes up a lot of deck space.
Matchups, right?
Yeah, it takes up a lot of deck space, and some decks have a hard time actually getting the bond online. Like Trunks Vegeta would be able to do it, but other decks have a problem with the bond.
That Slug is that it has to be in red line, and that's why I don't like it. Like it's a floodgate that is super like susceptible to just this normal swing, and that's why I never like deadly defenders and stupid shit like that.
I think Slug is only good on your kill turn. So it's hard to set up.
I mean,
I agree.
Oh,
I mean,
Big
Deadly
J.
Defenders were good in given formats depending on the deck and what you're going against. But yeah, Slug is just, there's too many things that swing like 20, 25k for free in this format that you're just going to have to nag cards just to keep it alive. Like, you're not really doing yourself any favors at that point.
And it comes up to a point where, like, do you really want to spend 2 energy or, like, 1 on previous turn and then still have it survive and play another one to play Slug? Essentially 2 energy total. Or just play cooler, and most of the times you'd rather just play cooler.
I agree. It makes sense on the Piccolo deck, but other than that, I don't think you should be playing it.
Yeah, the Piccolo deck's the only deck I play.
Let's move on. There's a lot of questions.
Shout out to Chad. Shout out to Chad for being a new player and enjoying the content. Appreciate that, man. Glad it helps.
Okay. Alright. Cedric says, in your opinion, what does black need as a color to catch up to the format? A lot.
Yeah.
That's a loaded question.
Let's start with some sort of free counterplay that involves having a unison out like every other color has.
But that's capped though, right? Because yellow doesn't even play theirs. So like that's not what they need. They just need a better.
That's one of many things they're missing though.
Yeah. Black has always been the hardest color to balance, right? Like when they came out, like black never really had control decks, and then they came out with Hatch, right? And then Hatch was just very impressive when it came out in set 8. And then they're like, okay, well we're gonna try and go a little bit more aggro route. They come out with like Vegeta, and then you have Gogeta Zeno, and it's just like, you print a card like Thwarting Help Black, and it just makes it too fast, right? And then you have to print specific leaders like Hatch in order to play control. It's hard to give generic just cards to black and not make it overpowered.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make a deck that revolves entirely around Overwhelm and give it more free plays, I mean, it's gonna be like oppressive aggro. But even Gogeta Zeno, like people will complain about Gogeta Zeno for a while, but I never really had a problem with it because just compared to Dark Broly, like, it's such an underclassed deck. But like, in the context of the format that it was viable, like, yeah, it was one of the best decks, if not the best deck. But I was pretty much okay with it because almost everything in the deck cost you at least 1.
I actually really enjoyed playing against Gogeta Zeno.
Yeah, like it definitely felt like a fair aggro deck. Again, like based on what we came from, which again was like Vegex and Dark Broly.
It was pretty good, but it wasn't like I never played it.
They have a lot of good tools, but just not enough. Not enough generic.
I mean, the deck just beat itself, right? Like it was a high rolly deck when they. Yeah. I would say it's a little more consistent than U7, but when it high rolled, yeah, it was crazy.
What do you guys? I have a question. I have a lot of questions for you all. What do you guys think that the Jax has a chance of ever becoming a good deck again?
Didn't it get errated the first 3?
Yes.
Yeah, got errated the first 3.
It's rough.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone tested it. I forgot who. It might have been Matt. He tested like some Vegex, like mid-game Vegex, and he just didn't do enough. Like the 4-drop bomb, the big thwarting, it's like good, but it just didn't do enough. I think.
I tried it a little bit, and it felt like I was just playing worse Trunks Xeno. Like everything I was doing, I was like, I feel like Trunks Xeno just does this better at this point. Like I think with the errata to 3 and the hit to the consistency of your mills, it's just not. It's the leader in that state has been Powercraft.
I mean, the leader's been hit like 5 times, so.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, absolutely.
That's going to happen.
If it was still mill 5, like. I think the leader would still be viable, but like, mill 3 is not enough.
Thank you.
Alright, next question. Is Mono Yellow Set 1 Frieza viable in this format? That's so funny you asked that, because we were just talking about that today, this morning. If red goes away, then maybe Golden Frieza comes back. But because red is so popular, it's just really hard for Frieza to have their Frieza army guys survive and stay on the board. They're just gonna get killed all the time. Every time you play a card, they're gonna get counterplayed with like a Yamcha or a Videl, and you lose your board. Your riposte never survives. It's just so hard to play Yellow Frieza. As much as I love the deck, you know, I have a soft spot for the deck too. I made top 6 and Nats with it, so I love the deck and I want to make it work, but it's just way too hard right now.
Yeah, if you notice the
game is a little rough.
Yeah, if you notice the format, like Golden Frieza was good in, like in Nats, there was the only red deck that was played as KP, right? And it was like heavy, Gogeta Zeno, Icarus, Soul Striker, and those are all decks that didn't hurt Golden Frieza that much. So yeah, and there was like a good matchup for Golden. I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of ways to clear your Frieza cards, so it's hard to get your leader ability off this format.
Yeah, removal is getting just better too lately. The past couple sets, like in.
Dude, It's the Android 18 Gamma card. That just okay. Now we can.
Yeah, that card is insane. Yeah, that card's really good.
That card is good. I mean, every red deck is just like you're not gonna be able to stick your post. You're not gonna be able to stick your one drops. Again, yeah, Gamma just bottom decks your guys.
Gamma, yeah. Like it was already kind of rough. Now there's a blue deck that just falls.
All right, let's answer some. We have like 48 viewers, by the way. That's pretty sick, guys. Thanks everyone for coming.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus all the people in Discord. I don't know if you guys are watching on YouTube as well, but let's answer some Discord questions. I feel like we skipped a lot. I feel like someone should have been scanning these questions, and I probably should have did it. My bad. Store champs, yeah, that's cool. Favorite Jank card. Anyone got some favorite Jank cards?
Seven drop Majin Buu triple striker.
That's not janky
the one
enough.
That you play.
Yeah.
How is that card not janky enough?
I'll pull it up. The Kid Buu.
At this point, that card is pretty janky.
I mean, is Jank considered bad?
At this point in time, I think it is.
Frieza, Emperor of Universe 7.
Yeah.
That's another great one.
I love that card so much. That's so bad.
Yeah. I would say 8-drop Yellow Bojack.
That card, see that's some high level Jank.
Oh no, I'll take Joey's and go one step further. I'm gonna say the Cooler from set 2, the Cooler's Armored Squadron one, Blood of the Tyrant Clan, something like that. That you used to play the Emperor of Universe 7 Frieza.
Yeah, that card wasn't jank during that time though.
Yeah, but like the Buu, it became jank eventually.
I mean, yeah, now.
I kind of like the red Frieza. You know what I'm talking about?
Just look at that SBR, bro. That card is fire.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
That whole deck foiled out is so nice looking.
What's that Prison Frieza 8-drop?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
One.
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
The one that's like you have to crit a life if you intend to breathe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
How's it going, Matt? Let's go.
We were talking about that one. Like, imagine like you wanted to play a card and you just died on the spot.
Yeah.
See, that's funny.
You accidentally got your camera on.
Oh God. All right, we can think more about janky cards after. We need to keep up with these questions.
I had a good question from Discord I missed earlier from Flash559. What's your favorite art from the new history theme set?
Ooh.
It's a really good one.
question.
I haven't looked at a lot of
Unison.
them. I haven't looked at a lot of them, but I do like the Dormant reprint.
That one looks nice. I would say the SS4 5-drop Unison. That card looks really nice. It's funny because the SBR of that card is fire, and then the new artwork is also fire.
Yeah, it makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That was like difference of status. Difference of status.
I'm with Marcus. I think that card looks sick as well.
And then from the Vegeta section, I don't know why, but I just like Protector of the People, like Trunks and Vegeta.
Yeah, that's a cool card.
Nice.
Yeah, really cool art. The 6-drop Vegeta looks really sick too.
Mm-hmm.
Very different status.
Actually, no, that Prince Vegeta, the green 4-drop, I think is the best looking one. Terrible card, but when you see that card in person, with like that has like the silver and rainbow Japanese writing, it looks sick.
So we got a question here. What do we think will get hit next set? And I mean, I think it's a little early to talk about this, but just thinking about it, I can't even see like what would get hit.
And
Like,
a lot of what'll get hit will depend on what's in the next set, which we just don't know. Like, there'll probably be some hits that'll come out of nowhere, and then we'll start seeing the new stuff, and we'll realize, oh, okay, this is why that got banned.
Well, I guess that brings up the question, like, does anything in this current format feel, like, out of line? Like, I can't really think of a particular card or anything that feels out of line.
Videl?
Yeah.
That
counterplay? Or the 1-drop blocker one.
1-drop.
Oh, yeah,
the one.
But that, again, that like comes down to like, is Bulma going to overperform at any of the events coming up? That's like the question.
No, it shouldn't be.
Well, it's not really like whether it did win an event, but it's not like whether it's like it does something that the game actively says you can't do in every other like deck.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I think it should get banned, but I just don't think it's going to. Unless the deck like again like overperforms.
I mean, I think it'll get banned.
I hope you're right.
Considering they hit Cell Surge when Cell Surge wasn't like that well represented. I know it's done more than Bulma has at this point, but like those if they see something, they can come out of nowhere, you know.
Matt knows what he's talking.
Like I think the fact that the one drop Videl creates a loop is just not intended, and that's something that they'll take a look at for sure.
I think the dual attack Frieza and U7 needs to be it.
That's an interesting one, especially if this aggro U7 takes off, because like that also limits the Xeno shenanigans.
I think if they were going to hit U7, I honestly think it would be something with leader.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I just think that's the only deck that, I mean, nothing seems super oppressive, but if we're just going based off like longevity, like ever since U7 came out, it's been like the most represented deck in every tournament. People just, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing about U7 is I think U7 could become the game's like new Sin Shenron deck. Like, you know how Yellow Sin Shenron was for like, you know, 2-3 sets, always got support. We could potentially see something like that for U7, where it's going to keep getting support as time goes on, because, you know, it is such a popular archetype, and it's, you know, it's one of the easier decks to play, but just to try and get it to keep up.
Yeah, but Sin was actually fun to play.
On that note, we're gonna move on. How is Mill with the in this format?
Terrible.
Mike, you wanna go ahead, Goose?
We tried like Janema Mill for a little bit, but it was terrible. I don't know about the Sin Xeno Mill though.
I think both decks can just like beat certain decks, but it's not gonna win across the format, you know.
I think that if you're all in on a mill strategy, you just don't have cards that do enough. You know, like you have to be able to, like, eventually your opponent is just gonna, I feel like they'll just have better cards, you know, if you're all in on the mill. Every other deck can go a little longer, and they can, you know, they have a way to end the game.
Yeah, and every energy you get more is just like way more aggression. Like even U7 all across the game, it could play more and more like 1 or 2 drops that you're just gonna get like destroyed really quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the top decks just can either just race you, or like you said, just get better, right? Like yellow decks, the more energy they have, the more cooler into other shenanigans they can do.
Yeah, yellow's actually super dangerous late game.
You know, green cooler can just like probably kill those mill decks pretty quickly. Like that's probably one of the faster decks of this format.
All right, moving along. With events being best one pre-side now, how much has it? I should probably say the name too. By Little Red, 5385. How much has it influenced deck choices and side deck choices? Do you guys feel it helps some decks being able to compete and hindered others?
Deck had like a bad game one alignment, but it had like a decent fix in your sideboard. I had to win 2 in a row, right? And reverse 2-0 somebody. That's just not likely. It's hard to reverse 2-0 anybody. So, but now you don't have to worry about every game. It's just game 3. So it doesn't change how you sideboard. It just makes the playing field even.
Yeah, honestly, I do think Bulma is better in best one pre-side. Like, you just lose the turning of the tide sometimes, right? And you don't really have time for another game sometimes, unless you just, like, I don't know, scoop game 1 and try to play 2 games really fast. But, one of the decks.
Yeah, I think not just only deck choices, but also just weird tech card choices. Like in best of 3, if you're running an unconventional secret rare, you could beat me game 1, but games 2 and 3, I know what you have now, and I can play around that. But in best of 1, it's like you don't get to see your deck list in Swiss, so it's harder to play around those things. Like in yellow, Trunks Vegeta, for example, people like Pan was the premier secret rare for a long time, and now it's Gohan Piccolo. But you know, some people would squeeze in there with Cell, and that could just like win games. So it's like that factor of not knowing what your opponent could slam down at any moment is scary in best of 1 because you don't get that games 2 and 3 to adjust.
I think aggro decks get worse in BO1 free side because at the end of the day, you can't really extend your game.
Yeah.
But you can, other people are throwing side cards to extend the game, so your deck's gonna probably be worse than it would be.
Yeah, they side more defense. And one thing, I think Zuhair can talk about this one because he went through it this weekend. The die roll becomes a little more luck-based in your tournament run, right? Like, if you just lose every die roll, it's going to be real hard to go undefeated, right?
Yeah, if you lose a die roll, you gotta be a lot better than your opponent.
Yeah, I agree. I think going first is like really strong this format. Like last format, when like Sin was still good, going second was fine. But a lot of decks like Trunks Vegeta, Gamma, U7, all 3 of those decks going first can just put on a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And by the same token, there's some decks that like can't that in some matchups it makes it almost impossible to function just going second. Like GT versus Gamma, for example. If GT is second against Gamma, Gamma gets their Unison and their counterplay up before they can like realistically play anything. So from the very beginning, you're extremely limited in what you can do.
Yeah, I'll give an example of what happened to me on the weekend. Was losing the dice roll to U7. So he goes first and plays with Gohan, and then on my turn, which is my 1 energy turn, I play my 1 drop, so it's my other 1 drop. And then turn 2, or my opponent's turn 2, he was able to play the Vegeta that can kill the 2 1-drop barriers and then attack me for 20.
Sorry about that, buddy. It was me.
Yeah, it was him. But what I'm trying to say is that play is just not possible if I win the die roll. Like, 'cause if I win the die roll, on my turn 2, I have my Trunks block route, and I'm in a much better position. I don't even have to deal with that. I don't even have to deal with the possibility of that. But because I lost the die roll, I was like, I get just boned.
I think we got a pretty good question on YouTube here. Jake asks, is it time for Bean to go, making any color a bit better by including it with a few multi? What about Champa being a consideration every deck? Okay, so I like this Bean question, but I have a pretty interesting approach to it. So I think that Bean is actually balanced by the fact that you have to play like 4 to 6 dead cards in your deck essentially. And what I mean by that is like in the blue-yellow deck, like Jordan is playing several cards just to charge them. And you know, most monocolor decks don't have that problem. So, and Jordan was talking about it before too, where sometimes you don't open your blue-yellow on turn 1, so you can't charge it until like turn 4. So I think Bean in some decks is kind of balanced in that respect, where it adds a ceiling to your deck, like it makes your deck better, like if you, you know, charge on curve and everything. But the downside is that you can never see a blue-yellow energy, but you might have like 3 Senzu Beans in your hand. So I think it's kind of balanced. I did have a thought to myself about Champa the other day, and I'm almost ready to see it go. Not because I think it's like obscenely broken, but I would kind of like that to just not be every deck's win condition anymore. But I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I have an opinion on that.
Go for it.
But I just think like, okay, we're seeing in this like format, it's like kind of slower, a slower format. I think if you take out Champa and Kai, the format gets even slower, hurting these aggro decks. That's and fair. You know, you have to like, I mean, I guess like best of 1 pre-side, like 36 minutes or like 35 minutes or whatever, is generally fine to finish the game. But once we go back to best of 3, which I assume National is going to be best of 3, I assume, I mean, hopefully it is, in my opinion. I think best of 3 is still better than best of 1 pre-side. But yeah, games are not going to be able to be finished, and you're just going to play best of ones anyway, in like a worse type of format. You're going to play best of one no side, which is obviously much worse.
I disagree because like I played the new. Have you seen the new format? The 70 minutes. Like, bro, you got an hour and 10 minutes. If you can't finish 3 games in an hour and 10 minutes, that's probably the personal problem.
I don't agree. I think a good game of Dragon Ball Super takes about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. So that would be an hour and a half to maybe getting it finished at the bell.
Yo, what do you guys
What turn
think
are you
about?
playing, dude?
What do you guys think of best of 3 pre-side? Like from game
doesn't
one?
matter. The game's just a slow game.
I mean,
Best
that
of
means you
3
withdraw all the
pre-side?
time. You don't draw
Let
like
let
that.
Mike and Big J talk.
Like you used to draw like that, but how many draws have you had in the past 2 years of tournaments? The 60-minute mark. How many draws have you had? Like, let's
Not as many, but also it's not including the games where I win 1-0. You know.
Yeah, that's because Big J be 2-0 everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, but my point is that I just don't really think you're gonna play a lot like that. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we've played games in the Cord. Like, obviously, like there's other distractions and stuff going on. But even then, like, you really think every game can be finished in 20 minutes?
Big J, I played Baby in Tennessee, and I was done by the 35-minute mark every round. Every.
But did it go to game 3 in those rounds? You know, like that's the thing.
Most of my rounds went to game 3. Yeah.
That's crazy. Because for me, like I know if it does go to game 3, you're gonna hit time. That's how it happens to me every time.
Mike is
Also,
different
like-
breed, though.
Yeah,
like
he's-
you play the game really fast. I would say I play the game slightly slow. Like I don't think I'm like super slow, but I definitely play it slow. But I think like a lot of your early rounds, if you're playing against people that are just playing fast and just throwing cards on the board, they don't know what they're doing. But like I'm saying, like a good top cut match, like a top cut match probably would take more than like 70 minutes.
30 anyways, right?
Yeah, an hour and 30. Yeah, like it gives you enough time in top cut. But I'm saying you still play good players in the later rounds of Swiss, so you would need that time, or the results wouldn't be very accurate.
Yeah, Big J, we just got too old.
It's because
Yeah,
Mike
we got
starts his turn, charges his energy, swings leader, and passes.
His decision making's fast.
I don't think either card honestly needs to go. I think both cards are fine. Like Senzu Bean, maybe like when like Icarus and Mecha were around, you could have made a case because like every yellow leader was so generic that it was very easy to just slot in blue yellow cards. But now like you have like Trunks Vegeta, Yard Rat Goku, like all these new decks coming out are so heavily archetype based, and just their engines are so big. There's not much wiggle room for you to just like add in like at least an 8-card package. So in order to do that, you have to really sacrifice on like consistency. So I think if you were going to make a case, I would think you can make a case for Champa, even though I think that card's fine. But I definitely don't think the blue-yellow package is as easy to fit into newer decks. It's a lot more balanced now than it was like last year.
I feel like when you brick with the blue-yellow package, it's really bad. It's like much worse. Whatever your worst hand is without the blue-yellow package, just multiply it when you brick with the blue-yellow package.
All right, here.
Blue yellow is even worse, right? Because you're playing behind an energy because you're going second, then you're playing behind another energy because you're blue yellow.
Yeah.
Now back to energy at one point in the game.
Here's a thought. Would we be saying this if multicolor decks were more prevalent?
I mean, maybe
You don't
not,
think so?
but I mean,
Like, do we?
That's true. That's true.
They did ban, Fighting Against Fate and Secret Identity because they were too generic. Bean and Champa, especially Champa, and literally in every deck. So, who knows?
Except Mike's deck.
I do agree with Marco though. Like, without Champa, format just gets so slow.
Yeah.
I have not registered a Champa in a deck since Jerry.
You're a different animal, Mike. All right, let's move on. We were talking about that. Good.
Yo, pre-side best of 3. What do you guys think?
No shot.
I think that'd be cool, but it would definitely just be a way longer tournament, right?
Why?
And it also just makes aggro like unplayable. An aggro deck has to win 2 games in a free side. Yeah,
you could also never sleeve up decks like Cooler. No shot.
Yeah,
no shot am I
some
playing
decks-
3 games where I have to worry about Degenerate.
Yeah, that's true. Some decks would be like become unplayable probably. Yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, people still play cooler in pre-side BO1 and have to deal with it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but
one
playing
time, though.
3
Nice
games
fight.
based off that, like 1 game, sure, you can win, right? Like Degenerate is not like a silver bullet to the extent where you just win if you draw it. Like it's never been the case. But it's just having to deal with that for 3 games. That's toxic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we have oh, I have Briar's question in the chat. Yeah, he's a big one. Been waiting a little bit. How do you go about setting up good practice ethic? I don't know if you guys. I'll just read the whole thing. What I mean is, obviously, you can find good practice partners, but how do you avoid falling into sort of echo chamber where something you play does fantastic, but in reality, it's just your own practice results that makes you think that, and a bigger tournament, you get wrecked. We have tons of discussions like this. Actually, we have a lot of strong personalities. We clash daily, like literally daily, on opinions, on plays, card choices, deck strength. It's pretty insane. So I guess that like sometimes it protects us from like being put in like an echo chamber of like false results and false positives. But I'll let you guys, some of you guys talk about our practice ethics.
I think having players, like obviously good partners, but like just players who play differently, right? Like nobody on the team plays like I do. It's not a thing. So like I don't agree with a lot of things that they say. We talk about it, and no one agrees with. They're like, nah, no.
Sometimes we do. Come on, sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while. But like the bone everything. I've been playing it since Nats with them. They've been seeing it since then, right? But it was like, yeah, this deck sucks. I don't want to play it. But then, Danny came around and played it. And like, Big J plays differently than all of us. Joe plays different. Goose loves like playing crazy alternate win con stuff. Russ is always playing like off meta decks. So Marcel is always trying to kill somebody real fast. Jordan's trying to force a bean in his deck. So it's like none of us have the same thinking while playing. So while talking, we're gonna have different things rolling around,
You know what I do, Mike?
Play the best deck.
No, I attack through ready to rumble.
I've been playing.
I would honestly
for 18 months now. I've never had someone willingly give up 7 energy in 1 turn. I was the third thing I've ever seen. He almost won.
I would honestly almost say that like our team, obviously like our team is made up of like incredible players. Like you go down the list, like everybody's accomplishment sheets just like go on forever. But like everybody, like Mike just said, everybody's opinion is so far on different ends of the spectrum, not just from each other, but from like the general public, that like when you playtest against each other, sometimes it's almost like a hindrance because you base your thoughts and your deck choices based off of your team testing, and you can't really do that going to an event because I could play against everybody on this team, and unless I play against them in an event, nobody I play against is going to be like them.
Yeah.
Like my testing results can't be based off of them.
Attack their leader. I was like, yo, I'm not attacking their leader. Never. Whenever they make a bean, I wouldn't attack their leader. If people were like, no one's gonna do that, I'm doing it right now. See how it goes.
Yeah, I've got 2 cents to drop on this. I think that our team in particular is very good at this, and I think actually we made it a point to get over that like self bias and confirmation bias stuff. We made it a point to get over that like last Nats. I remember we had a lot of talks about it, and everyone just I think has been really receptive, open minded. And again, like everyone's been saying, we all play very differently. We all like different play styles, and I think that helps keep us well balanced. Like the half of us that came from Shenron's lair, we've played with some people that were very, very singular minded. But like I don't know, the way the team is now, especially like I said, coming from Nats last season, we've all gotten very good at taking everyone else's opinions and really absorbing them.
Yeah, I say we understand those differences very well, right? Like when we, especially that testing for Nats, like we understand some matchups in our team testing feel unwinnable, but then like talking it out after the testing and being like, hey, other people are probably not going to play the matchup like this, you'll be fine. And like being okay with that and going to an event and then you play in that matchup and you end up like smoking the person 2-0 because you understand that they're probably not going to play the matchup like the other person on the team will.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
what?
hard to notice if they make a mistake because you played it against someone who's playing it perfectly for so long.
It actually happens a lot on when we're testing where one player tests a matchup against one person, they scoop them like 3-0 in like 3 games, and they play someone else and they go 0-3 with the same deck. It actually it actually happens a lot. And I think the most important thing, the best tip I can give is keep yourself like open-minded as much as possible. Don't look at the things that are like out of your control. Just like constantly think how you could have made better plays and like learn from your mistakes as much as possible.
That was a good question.
I have something to say to that real quick. First of all, hey boys, how y'all doing?
Hey Frank.
What's up, Frank?
Maybe.
So I can say from playing testing with you guys, the biggest thing that you want, that I wanted, I saw, is like just having people around you have different lines of play and like have the same mindset as you makes testing more effective. Like,
Yeah.
Are we gonna continue? I think we lost him.
sorry,
Our testing sessions get real toxic, bro. Our testing sessions get wild.
Yeah, we all yell over each other.
Let Frank finish.
Create. I don't know if Frank can talk. Can you talk? I'm so go quick.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or, no. What I was saying, I will.
Bro, you're kind
Oh,
of
we lost.
Yeah, it keeps going off. But yeah, like during Nats,
Type it in the chat, Frank. Type it in the chat.
it would get so like crowded and like people talking over each other that I had to create like a different Discord channel and label it quiet mode just so people knew to come in and shut up because it gets in the way sometimes, when you're testing. But to answer that question too, I think for me when I test, I don't play test to win the game. I play test to learn from the game, and I think that's the best thing you could do to keep yourself honest, so you don't win all the time and you're like, yeah, this deck is great. No, you gotta play test and learn about the deck, learn about how it's playing, and even do plays that are purposely bad just to see how it would turn out. Do plays that are crazy, even if it might cost you the game. You just gotta try it out and just learn from it.
I'll tell you what, Koos does not win the most during testing, but I'll tell you what, he has close to the most tournament wins out of the whole team.
I lose a lot in testing all the time. And,
Yeah.
back to the whole playline thing too. Like it really gave me flashbacks. So when I took Crimson to San Diego, I started playing Crimson Goku and I started beating everybody here. I was like, dude, this deck is really good. And then all of a sudden, like people are blocking the first damage when turn 1. Like who blocks the first damage turn 1? Like everybody takes their life right away to go down to 4. Who does that? And yeah, everybody started doing it. Next thing you know, like they're blocking hits that will drop them from 8 to 7, from 7 to 6. They're like super comboing randomly before they're at 4 life, and everybody started beating me. And like I literally would lose every single matchup. And despite that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to San Diego, and no one's gonna know to block the life early. And so yeah, I'll take it. And yeah, I took it. I went X1, and I got 2nd place. Like that's how it went down. And I'll never play the deck again because once people figure it out, like
I think Koos is the perfect example of like not letting your losses in testing get to you. Like I've seen it before, like a previous before COVID San Diego event where Koos took HOM Brawley to San Diego, and the night before in testing, Koos didn't win a single game. I promise you. We sat down for like hours. I don't think I saw Koos win a single game. Like probably went 0-8 in testing the night before.
It was literally 9 games. I kept track. I played 9 games against Alex Long.
He could just not beat our Toad deck. And like granted, like we were slapping Koos up like all night. And like it's not like I didn't do bad. I ended up getting 4th at that event. But Koos didn't win a single game in testing the night before, and then ended up winning the event.
Thank you for all the answers.
For sure. One last point before we move on. Yeah, of course, I know a lot of people in the chat and stuff, they don't have like teammates to test with, but if you can just like get friends together and to test. It's like the key is to keep yourself just like open-minded, right? Always try to think of different. Yeah, or on a tap. Just try to think of different play lines, because like I said, you know, doing tiny things like not swinging could swing entire matchups. Mike is the only one that thinks of crazy stuff. Like in the entire game, I've never seen anyone do crazy stuff like not swing to like don't draw a card to like get ahead in the matchup. It's pretty crazy. So, you got some questions in YouTube?
Yeah, I do actually. There's a couple good ones. One of them by Calvin. He says, "Do you think there should be a counterplay for Unisons? It would be for every color, but instead of tapping like 2 energy, you pay maybe 3 or 4 energy to counterplay a Unison." I think we definitely need some counterplays for Unison. I don't know how to balance it though.
I think it needs to cost 2. Like you give
Damn! It used to cost 2.
But 2 to kill it though?
No, Zamasu was a good card effect. It was just given to the best color combination in the game. They gave it to like blue-yellow has always been the best combination since the beginning of the game.
It's indestructible. It's blue-yellow. It comes in non-rested, right? It's just an over, and it rests the card with played and draws. Like, it's just an overturn.
Literally a
boss would have just said bounce a Unison. It would be a different. If all it said was just bounce a Unison, completely different card.
True.
Right?
Like, if it was given to any other color combination, like if Zamasu was printed as like a red-green card, it would be untouched. There'd be no errata to that card.
I think it has to be 2, because it has to be early. Because like if you do it for 3 or 4, they already played their Unison. Who cares? Like I can bounce. Who cares? You tapped out. They played again. It's bad.
I think 2 is fair for sure, Mike, but I don't think it should kill the Unison. I think it could be something like Unison comes in play with 2 markers instead of whatever.
Or the Unison comes in
like
with
that.
its skills negated.
Yeah.
We have a card like that. That's Piccolo, right? Demonic Transformation. I think you'd have to put it in the dropper back in their hand. That's why I said bounce it back to the hand, because like.
What if it took off markers?
We have those cards. They're not good enough.
The counterplays to take off
Spirit
markers?
boost effects just don't cost
Absolute
enough.
Annihilation. Not Absolute Annihilation, but Absolute
Confidence? I mean, like a counterplay that like takes 2 or 3 markers off.
But that's better than bouncing.
Yeah.
Like it comes into play with like half its markers.
Yeah. I also think cards like Videl, like the Videl counterplay at Spirit Boost 1, like Spirit Boost 1 on card effects, like doesn't matter. Like losing 1 counter doesn't do a whole lot. Like you look at Danny's Bulma deck, this dude would Spirit Boost 1 and then bring the card back, Spirit Boost another one. 2 counters, he doesn't care, right? If all of a sudden that Videl counterplay said Spirit Boost 2, and so you had to use 4 counters in a turn, that's a whole different game at that point, right? Now you actually have to be conscious about like the cards you're playing. But Spirit Boost 1, yeah, sure, spam that card as many times as you want. You don't care.
Mike, what was that black card that they have? Is it Dragon Slaying Bullet or something like that? That like helps mitigate the when your units get free?
That card sucks now. They eroded. It's terrible. Unplayable now.
Alright, next question. That was a good question.
Let's see. Jared Lopez says, a lot of regionals lately have been best of 1 pre-side instead of best of 3. How do you feel about that? The only best of 3 regional was San Diego.
That's not true.
Tennessee was best of 3.
I see. That was the only one he could think of, so he's not saying that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, a part of me likes best of 1 pre-side. It's like a different game almost. Game planning differently. Best of 3 feels very original. I hope they don't change it for Nats, but if they do, like they better give a long advance.
Nats cannot be best of 1 pre-side.
Yeah,
that'd be terrible.
What happened? They said literally they made the 70-minute format rule, right? Then they said we're gonna do all the convention regionals BO1 pre-side, so players have more time to enjoy the con. Because
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's BO3 for Nats. Like, it's like no one even needs to worry about it. I would bet all types of money, giving you all types of odds. You know what I mean? Like. Because they already made the statement. They already said, like, when we were in Tennessee, the dude Jason Neal, who was the judge, was like, yeah, the BO1 free size is just for the con events, because they need people to be able to enjoy the con to justify having it there, which makes sense, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I just know best one pre-side does not do green or fucking go any favor, so God, that it can go.
Funny question from Seraphim Zhang. Why does Daniel only play degenerate decks or make decks degenerate?
We haven't figured that out yet. we haven't figured that out. And Mike supplies it.
See, listen, when you win and your opponent can't do a damn thing about it, it feels good. So.
Get him out of here.
Does anybody remember watching Danny play against Eon in the finals? And then he accidentally bunny girled while Coach Sky was live and he pitched six. And everybody was like, "Oh, Danny is so dumb." What a
Didn't they say I lost in the chat? Yeah, they said I lost.
Yeah, he pitched 6 cards from his hand, and then he wins that turn or the next turn. I forgot.
I won right after the turn. Right after.
The reason Danny has to play those decks is because he sucks.
See, there's the other reason, you know. But hey,
me and he's the same guy, bro.
My defense is I played the other early game well enough to put me in that position to just misplay at the end, and it didn't matter, you know.
6 from the hand.
Just stop it.
In the history of Dragon Ball, you can't say you ever saw something like that, all right?
Yeah. What you doing there, Russ?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
He's showing off his SpongeBob stuff. Let's go to.
Question I have on YouTube. It's the last question on YouTube, so we could go to Discord questions.
Okay.
But it's: do you think it's a time to up the extra deck count from 15 to 20? There's just so many to counteract all this meta of U7, Gamma, GT Cooler, etc., etc.
Mike has some thoughts, huh?
Absolutely not, bro. 20 cards? That'd be crazy.
I think that's just like.
I could put really ignorant cards in the deck. You gave me 20. Like, I'm like, oh, I just shy. Right? So, absurd card in my deck that's not usable. It's actually good to have a 15-card sideboard in a wide open format. Because now you must have sideboard cards that touch multiple matchups, not just one matchup. You give me 20, I could eliminate a deck from even being in contention.
Yeah, it rewards like good deck building. Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say I totally understand where this question is coming from because there's so many things to counter now. Like, man, you gotta side so many different cards all the time. But I think that's also where the fun of deck building comes into play, and the fun of just DBS. You know, you gotta kind of pick and choose, right? You know, going into a tournament, you gotta pick and choose. All right, I'm gonna sacrifice this matchup, make some judgment calls, and yeah, I think that's where the fun and excitement come into play as well.
I'll give you a tip for sideboarding 15. 2 Jarens for the 17. 3 to 4s for the green decks, like the Android 16 deck, right? And then the last 10 need to touch 2 or more decks. They can't be for one deck. You have 5 cards for each one deck, right? So the other ones have to touch both. It has to be good against 2 decks in the format at one time, and that will help your like sideboard a lot if you just do it that way. So they say, oh, this card's good against GT, or this card's good against U7, but it's not good against nothing else. So there's no point in doing that. Like, you're gonna play. There's too much variance. So it needs to be good against U7 and something else. It's good against Vegeta and something else, right? It has to be that way. And there are cards that fit that bill.
Nice question. We'll move on to some Discord questions. Would the game be better off if less Unisons were played since there's a new game mechanic being released? I don't think it'll ever be less played, right? Like, if they just stop printing Unisons altogether, we're just gonna keep playing the same good ones.
Yeah, I mean, the new mechanic doesn't touch Unison. This one enhances your leaders. So based off what we know about it, right? So like, I think that Unisons are fine. Keep printing them, matching introduced planeswalkers very later on in their game. It was fine. Yu-Gi-Oh's introduced new cards. Pokemon, every game introduces new cards. Like, I think we didn't get enough time with the Unison Warrior block. 6 sets, I don't think was enough. I think people are just now starting to wrap their head around how to use Unisons correctly. So I would like to see maybe 2 or 3 more sets, but new mechanic.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see Unisons return at some point. We never got a multicolor Unison, so they might try and do that at some point. That might be an entire.
That'd be
block by
broken.
itself. where we then add more Unisons.
Imagine a red-blue one. Oh my god.
And they check Unisons very well. Like, you could only have one. Like, in card games, their comparisons to Planeswalkers, you can have an army of Planeswalkers. You just can't have the same name. But, like, they're like, no, you can only have one.
Yo.
It is checked very well.
Imagine you play multiple Unisons. Whew.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Imagine you can line up a Boo, a Baby, 17, 18. Just have
Dude,
a grand old time.
if I can have Vegeta and Baby on board,
Yeah.
there's no shot of losing.
They checked it correctly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's done very well. I hope Zenkai is done as well. Like, you know, because I feel like I don't know the Zenkai stuff, but I feel like it's probably going to be something like the Naruto squad did. And my understanding that was not done. Maybe it was done well, but some people hated it or whatever. But like, I hope it's done well. So that way it's not.
I will say that, like, when you remember when Unisons first got announced and people, you know, exactly like that, were freaking out saying, oh, they're just copying Planeswalkers, this is not going to be good for the game, and it turned out to be a great block.
Yeah, I think the game is interesting. Groups and Unison where you're starting.
Alright. Awesome question. Go ahead.
Just to touch on what Mike said. Yeah, not to get too deep into Naruto, but yeah, the reinforcement deck was just like, for a game like this, it could be done better. It's just we'll have to wait and see how it's done. Because in Naruto, like it was like you got one normal summon a turn, so like being able to play a bunch of free stuff was kind of crazy. In this game, we play free stuff, we play cheap stuff, like not too crazy, no summoning sickness.
I totally missed this question, and we're like half hour over this question. But S-Rod asked question, playing Finn a lot lately, have had a lot of success, and also felt strong against Bulma. What are you guys' thoughts? And then someone said, oh, Mike said Finn is good against Bulma. Didn't we play test and I won?
Yeah, but it's still good. It's just like, you know, it's matchup. Like, you were able to stick it very well. Like, it is good. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not good. That's wrong to say it's not good. It's one of the better decks. Like, it eats your Unison. If you have a Videl, oh, all right, I guess my Unison's back. Oh, well. You know what I mean? But regardless, I think it's good. I don't think it's like a blowout.
I don't know if Finn has enough tools to like pressure enough. Like even if you like wipe the board, right? It's just, I guess that's like inherently the color black. Can't handle like the floodgates well, right?
Yeah, black has a lot of like mid-sized bodies that are really good, but its bombs just aren't really good enough to actually end the game, and that's even true in the archetype decks like Finn. Like the 8-drop is cool, it's 25k dual attack, but like it's not ending the game.
Big thing to remember too. Every time Finn like wipes or like gets one of the Earthlings, you proc Bunny Girl. So it's like that's a pretty rough time if you keep procking Bunny Girl over and over.
I think the biggest issue is when you have those more like mid-rangey black decks, like since black doesn't have all the free counters that all the other colors have, you're just so like energy hungry, right? Like you're trying to build your own board and hinder your opponents, but you just don't have as much, you're not playing as many cards as other colors are.
Yeah, you're not putting in a lot of pressure with a lot of efficient cards. On to the next one. Never mind, that's not a question, that's a comment. You want to move back to the YouTube, Koos? If he's there. I'll let Seraph, I believe the ruling is sideboard before dice roll, but since winning dice roll gets so much advantage, do you think it's better off to change the dice roll before sideboard?
Absolutely. That's the way it is.
Yeah. We actually literally talked about this today. Like, if you could know if you're going first or second, it could drastically change your sideboard and like actually give you more of an advantage. Yeah.
We don't want to reward winning a dice roll even more than already rewarded by having being up in it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm playing against an aggro deck like U7 and I lose the dice roll, like you best believe I'm putting all the defensive stuff in. You know. Yeah. How do you?
So let's say you have a card that's better sideboarded going second? Are you just like, or better sideboarded going first? Are you just not sideboarding that card anymore because you don't know if you're gonna win the die roll and it could just be dead, or?
Yeah. It's pretty weird because like in like best of 3 you'll know if you're going first or second, so you sideboard like you sideboard it like knowing exactly what you want to do, right? But like in best of 1 you just, I would just sideboard what's generically good overall, right? Like instead of, I guess what I'm saying, like all my defensive cards, I would sideboard out more offensive maybe, and then say I had like two final flashes in the sideboard, maybe I just bring in 1. But like if I'm like going second, maybe I'll just bring in 2 instead because I'm like super scared of dying. You know what I mean? How do you counter the 6-drop in SS4, Vegeta? Lost Nation Paintball.
Death Blaster is probably yellow's answer. Godzilla is blue's answer. Green, red, black, and
Sorry.
Yeah, I would say I've been playing a blue-yellow deck a lot lately, and Frost Deli Poison has been pretty clutch in that matchup.
Frost Deli, cracked against it also. Just don't play blue yellow. That's not what I'm gonna name it, but yeah.
I think Frost Deli Poison is insane right now.
I mean, I feel like
that card is so, it hits everything. Like basically at some points it's just a 2 energy counter for floodgates. Hits big bombs. Like, a card is insane. Yeah.
I think it's just always played blue yellow. In my opinion, I think it should be at least. But Death Blaster is a weird one, but that's not Death Blaster card that hits the frequent cell and SS4 rare card. So there's
yeah.
Your sideboard right now. And Godzilla is a deck, so yeah.
I think this might be the last question before we call it. It's getting a little late now. Do any of you play Jank decks, and what is your favorite Jank decks? You could not hear Mike. Does anyone else have a problem hearing Mike?
I'll
Okay. But
thanks, Mike.
I think Matt could answer this question. He's been I don't know if, do you care if we talk about your idea or the card you want to try to break? You can say no right now.
Oh yeah, it's we can talk about it. I don't. It's a neat little idea. I don't think it really goes anywhere, but it's a neat little idea. So I've been messing around with this green Videl leader.
What? I thought you were gonna talk about the red yellow.
Almighty Resistance. I'll talk about that shit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah. So I have been trying to see what deck I can fit just a small red-yellow package into of Almighty Resistance and this Baby Janemba. The AOD one. Because when your opponent has 5 or more energy tapped, it's a free red-yellow charge.
Isn't it 5 cards or 5 cards tapped?
Or yeah, sorry, did I say energy? Yeah, 5 cards. It's the same condition as Basil.
Yeah, 5 more cards in rest mode.
Yeah, which, you know, comes up pretty often. So, in a deck like, I'm trying it in Beerus at the moment, and I tried it in Bulma for a minute. Don't think it worked there. But yeah, that's kind of an idea that I've tried to do. I've tried to put it in Surge Goo. Tried to put it there too. Just you know, I think a counter like that is broken, and that's kind of a jank idea that I always try and float around somewhere and look for where it fits.
Counter strong, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Bad ring laser with 1 more energy, man.
Okay, Mike's been looking at the other chat. Thank you. Did you see any good questions you want to bring up, Mike? Okay. Well, sorry. We probably should re-emphasize that we're using the open chat. If you guys are watching the stream, you see this little button right here. You can open the chat at the text channel. But I think we're gonna call it. We've been going for a while. Is Joe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. We got even more people than last time. That was super fun. We'll definitely try to do more of these. You want to close this out, Joey? Any last thoughts?
Thank you all for coming. This was super awesome. I'm glad to just be chit-chatting with the community. It was honestly just really chill and really fun. So thank you guys all for coming.
All right, thank you guys.
Are you gonna? You clicking the end stream button?